The What's Stopping Us App, challenged by Identifying and Cataloguing Bottlenecks and Constraints by Jonathan, Bradley, Jamie, Catherine and Kate. The challenge posed to us by the Environment Agency was to produce a solution that allowed the capture and collation of bottlenecks on projects across the organisation. They also wished to be able to interrogate the data to identify trends and enable resolution of delays to projects. We were tasked to create a simple data capture tool that could be used to capture and evaluate common bottlenecks across the project portfolio. Our main obstacle was the lack of data, and therefore controlling the scope of the project was of great importance. Due to the lack of data, we approached the challenge using the user stories of the project manager and senior management. We will now demonstrate how our solution answers the questions posed on this slide.
We'll talk you through the solution and what we've chosen to use as a tool. So we wanted a Microsoft Suite because we feel that's upscalable and can go across industries and supply chains. We chose Power Apps for the data collection. We've got Power Automate that manages the alerts and the email notifications. And we're looking at Power BI for the visualizations and the insights. So the first user story we're going to take you through is that of the project manager. So when I come across a blocker in a project, I open up the app and I get faced with three options. This time I'm going to raise a bottleneck. The Add Bottleneck button, it takes you through to this screen, which will allow you to input the bottleneck data. We're after the project reference number, the project stage and activities are drop-downs, and then you have three text box for description of issue, the impact, and a suggested resolution. Hitting the Add Bottleneck button does two things. The first thing is it will send you an email saying that an issue has been raised, so that's your instant notification. The second thing that happens is that the Power BI dashboard is instantly launched. So this produces a visualization that tells you a summary of the issue you just raised, and then it gives you some stats around similar issues that are in the database. The big things here is it's identifying if there's any issues that are resolved, and that shows you in the box on the right, and in the left, any open issues, so ones that haven't been resolved. You can now drill down into these by selecting the boxes. By selecting resolved issues, you will be presented with a screen that shows you other similar projects and how they've been resolved. You can learn from this, implement it in your scheme if it's relevant. If it's not, then you can go back and look at the open issues, which will give you similar open issues, but it will instruct you what the project manager is that's working on those. The idea being that you might be able to team up and work on that project or that issue together. We've introduced the ability to give you nudges or email notifications. So if after you raise an issue, 3 weeks later, it is still open, you'll get a notification to say your issue is still open. It will ask you if it's been resolved or if it remains open. So basically it's nudging you to say, is there any update? Can you share your lessons learned? If your bottleneck has been resolved, you can go, the link will take you straight back to that title page. You can then hit the middle button, which is Resolve a Bottleneck. You are then presented with a new screen, which allows you to input your resolution action against the task that you need to find. Once you put this in there and hit Resolve Bottleneck, it will update the data, and that issue will now be turned from open to resolved. From a senior management perspective, we now have an Insights page. So this will take you through to an overview dashboard. We have a fictitious timeline, so it shows you the gateways of a project, the life cycle, and this will be the grouping around the issues raised. So you can see here clearly that Gateway 2 has a lot of issues. You also have the functionality to drill down into area, so base hub, area. You also have drill downs for status and activity. Also, you can see a number of issues raised over a particular date. In terms of future developments, we firstly want to make this something that's very easy to adapt, very easy to morph and change with the insights that we're getting back from it. We also thought about the impacts and where we state the impacts from. So currently, where impact is subjective to the user. If we link this to project schedules, we can actually replace that with real data. And lastly, if we think about this right now, we are probably recording symptomatic issues. And over time, we can adapt this to actually start asking the project manager, why did that occur and when did that occur? And we start moving this towards root cause identification. So in the future, we would probably look to change some of the questioning to see if we can eke out why projects are diverging from their original plan.
What are the benefits of our solution? We have created an easy-to-use app which can be used to capture bottlenecks on projects by suppliers and project managers across the Environment Agency delivery hubs. By using the Power BI dashboards, we are able to learn from insights to further develop the app, while also providing trend information to senior management. Also, by making the app easy to use, this should ensure PMs use it to share resolutions, enabling them to resolve project blocks and delays. In answer to question 1, we have a simple, easy-to-use app that takes a couple of minutes to complete, so this shouldn't feel burdensome. That, combined with the feedback mechanism, should encourage uptake. In answer to question 2, all the tools are Microsoft-based, so should be accessible to both the Environment Agency and their suppliers. Power Apps allowed us to create a simple data capture tool, while Power BI allowed for the data already existing in the Environment Agency tools to be combined for greater context into insights. In answer to question 3, this was actually a benefit to us, as we were able to focus on the user story to determine what data we needed to address in the problem statement posed.
Which is